Hello, everyone. Welcome to Elevating Your Life with Paula Vail. I am your host, Paula Vail, and I am happy to have you join me once again for another fantastic show with another fantastic guest. Today, we are chatting to the beautiful country of Sweden. We have with us today Susanna Utbult. And she has 22 years of experience in Sweden as a leading speaker and teacher of Feng Shui, which is so amazing. Her expertise has been acknowledged in interviews on radio, TV, and in magazine. She is the co-author of the absolutely amazing book, Feng Shui Flow. Her speech in London about Scandinavian Feng Shui was a great success. Since 2010, Susanna is the owner of the Nordic School of Feng Shui, the leading educational company in the Nordic countries, where she educates tomorrow's Feng Shui consultants. First off, I want to say welcome, Susanna.
Thank you. Thank you very much. It's so great to be here.
And I have to share with everyone a little something else that's very fun. We have been friends now for several years. We met several years ago. I met her and was able to do an interview, and I just became fascinated in Feng Shui. And with chatting with her, I did some different things in my office, and oh my gosh, so many fantastic things happened, including magazine covers and Times Square. So anyway, after the Times Square post, I met Susanna in New York City. She flew from Sweden, I flew from Washington State, and we both experienced New York City, taxis, the subway, the restaurants, all of it together, and fell in love with it. So I'm just so happy to talk to my dear friend today. Well, Susanna, I would love a little more of your history and kind of what triggered you to write this amazing book that you have put out this year.
Yeah, my history is, I have 22 years of experience with Feng Shui, and I have had this book in my head for many, many years. I have so many more books in here. I would love to get them out. But what triggered me was actually my co-writer, Jenny, because she has been the motor. I have the knowledge, and she is kind of being my motor, motivating me. Let's say, let's do it now. Because I am quite good at postponing things and saying, oh, let's do it a bit later. So I have her to thank you for writing it, actually.
Oh, I love it. I love it. Together as a team, you created this beautiful book, and it talks about so many different aspects of Feng Shui. I learned things I had not realized. So for someone out there, Susanna, who really has not heard of or really knows nothing about Feng Shui, what would you say is the basic of what it is and what it does? And then we'll go into different little details.
Well, Feng Shui is a huge subject, and you can do it very simple, and you can do it very advanced. So but what it is, it's how you are affected by your environment, about things you have around you, your room, the colors, the shapes, the materials, everything you have around you have different energy, and you are affected by them, and they make you feel in a certain way. And then you can arrange or rearrange your room to make you feel better. So that is in a very, very small context. You can also use Feng Shui in a very big context. I mean, out there in creating houses, cities, and even bigger. But for us, or for the normal person who is maybe a new beginner, it's easiest and it's best to start in your own home.
Yes, yes. And in your book, you mentioned what you call the toolbox.
Yes.
Tell us about that.
Feng Shui have this wonderful toolbox with simple tools which you can carry with you at all times for the rest of your life. And you can use it in every room, in every part of your life, in any context. So we have this qi, the flow of qi, the 5 elements, yin and yang. And also I use something called the curry lines. I'm measuring the curry lines to do the dowsing with dowsing rods. I'm not sure if you know what that is.
Oh, no, I've never heard of that.
No, it's like energy lines. It's like a grid all over the earth, and I measure them with dowsing rods. Have you heard about dowsing rods?
No.
No.
Fun.
Yeah. But I measure, and if I create a bedroom, for instance, I always check where the bed is. So it's not on the curry grid, because then it can make you sleep poorly, and you can get sick. And so even if you have a very beautiful room, if you sleep on that, it's not going to affect you in a good way. So it's important, I think. And you can put others.
Yes. Is the direction of the bed, does that make a difference in a bedroom, how you sleep? Like what direction the bed is facing?
Well, do you know, are you referring to the curry grid, or are you just asking generally?
Generally, yes.
Yes, yeah. There is a technique in Feng Shui, which is called the 8 mansions. And you have certain calculations to find out which is a good direction for you to sleep in, or you have 4 good directions to sleep in or to be facing when you sit up like this. And then you have 4 not so good directions. And you can choose one of your good directions, of course. Wow. But on the other hand, you don't have to. I mean, there are so many techniques. You can do it very simple, and you can also add several techniques to it. And you can put layers to layers to layers, and you can make it quite advanced if you want to. But then and that's one thing about Feng Shui, which I think is very good. You can do what you like. If you like it simple, you use the simple toolbox, or if you want it more advanced, you can add advanced techniques, and it's still Feng Shui and it's still good for you.
Oh, I love it. I love it. So you can literally, begin with one room in your house and kind of work with that and do some Feng Shui techniques, such as what do you say about plants in a room? Would that be a good example?
Every room needs plants, I think, for several reasons. But one reason is plants are the wood element, So it's important to have the wood element in a room. You need all the elements in a room. And plants give you the freshness and the energy, the upward energy that comes from the wood element. But also, I mean, plants, they purify the air, gives more moist to the air. So it's in many ways, it's a very good thing to have plants in the room. You can
Yes.
see my plants here.
Yes. So would you recommend, for example, at your home, instead of having all your plants like in one big room, kind of spread them out into various rooms? Like your office,
Yes,
maybe have a plant in your office.
absolutely. I think every room should have not only one plant, but several plants. And that's also depending on how big the room is. A small room requires less plants or smaller plants, and big rooms requires bigger plants. So yeah, according to the size. Yeah, and definitely to the office, as you say, it actually makes you more focused to have plants where you work. Better focus, less headaches. Yeah, you're more in general. You feel much better with plants.
That is just amazing and beautiful. That is just fantastic. So then, would you also say the colors in the room are going to make a difference?
Absolutely. In Feng Shui, we use the colors of the 5 elements, and some practitioners, they stick to that teaching about the 5 elements and the colors according, or the colors to the 5 elements. But what is important to me is to also take into consideration the psychological effect of color. So it's actually more than just the Feng Shui way of looking at it. So if you have, for instance, lots of red, it makes you very hot, flustered. You can get angry. And if you have a living room, which is, let's say, painted in blue, it's going to be too cold. People are not going to be socializing in there because it's just too cold. People want to stay, they want to keep their warmth instead.
Yeah.
So the color is very, very important.
Yeah. Isn't that amazing how something as simple as the different colors that we could have in a room can make such a difference on how we feel and the energy, how the energy flows. I just think that's amazing and fantastic.
Yes, everything in a room is energy, because everything is energy. So of course, everything is affecting us on a deeper level and makes us feel different. So that's why we can use the toolbox, the colors, everything with Feng Shui. You can use it to create a room which is good for you, which is supporting the things you want to do in that room. So if you want to relax in a room or maybe sleep in a room, you use certain colors, certain, well, you use the same tools, but you use them a bit differently. And if you want to make a good room for a study, for instance, you use it in a different way to make you more alert and more focused for work.
That is so fantastic, because you can use these colors and these items to make a difference in enhancing the energy and the feeling in a room. So, and that could be something you can do, we can do in our homes. Let's say we have a shop that customers come into. So could Feng Shui help us with our shop to kind of rearrange the colors, the items, so people will feel good when they walk in?
Absolutely. Yes. And I think that's, it depends on what kind of shop it is. I mean, what are you selling? I think you have to be more specific. What does this shop need to make their clients or customers happy and want to buy more? Because
what came to my mind was like a bookstore. A bookstore. If I had a bookstore and I wanted people to feel good when they walk in, would there be anything I can do to help with that?
I would choose yellow or yellow hues, because it's your intellect is stimulated by the yellow color. So when you're reading, you're stimulating your intellect, and the yellow is going to help that.
Wonderful. Wonderful. And I do have a quick question about plants. Does it make a difference if the plants are real, live plants, or not live plants? For example, I have this right here. That is not a real plant. So does it not have the effect in a room that a live plant would have?
I would say it matters, because what you really want, you want that living energy which comes from the living plant. Because if you have a fake plant, you won't get all that the goodness from it. In this case, when I say your plant, it's very red. So this provides your room with the fire element more than the wood element. So if you want to have the wood element, you should have more green to it. But of course, I mean, yes, it is plant. It is a plant, even if it's a fake one. Yes. But I would say if you can choose a real one, I think you should.
Thank you. Thank you.
But you know, also, I mean, sometimes in certain rooms, there are not enough sunlight, but still you want to have a plant. Then I would say it's better to have a fake plant rather than not to have any plant at all.
Yeah. See, my office
nowadays,
here, yes, I have several green plants throughout the office, but no windows, no sunlight. So
no.
It's kind of, so it's
so in your case,
an attempt, isn't it?
Yeah. But also, with that said, I know that lots of people say that, oh no, you shouldn't use a fake plant because it's like plastic and it's not nice. But nowadays, you can find so very delicate, beautiful artificial plants.
Yeah.
So, but if you don't have plants, then you must find something else to bring in the wood element. So because you need the greens. So maybe you can have a green carpet, or you can have green curtains, or
wonderful.
In the bathroom, maybe you can have green towels or a shower curtain, but you need the green because that's the wood element, and that is important to the room.
Yes, and it's so great that you go over so many great details in your book. I love it. and there is different options of getting the different elements. So I am going to ask, would this Feng Shui also be a great thing to, let's say, an entrance to a home or an entrance to a building?
Absolutely. And I think you should start with the entrance. The entrance is the main part of the house because it's like the mouth. We call it the door, the main door, the entrance door, the mouth of chi. So there is where all that lovely chi comes into your house. So that's where you start.
I love that. I love that. And so a good way to begin, would you say, is to begin, let's say, with the entrance and just one room at a time and get that flow going, get that feel going. And
yes, I would start with the entrance, and then I would next after that I would take the bedroom, because that's the second most important room, because that's where you rest and you spend what is it 1/3 of your lifetime in bed or in your bedroom. So it's a very important room.
Yeah.
And then after that, I would say the kitchen. I know some other practitioners would say kitchen first because that gives you the nourishment, your food. But I would say the bedroom before the kitchen.
Yeah.
And then the living room or whatever room you have.
It's so exciting and so fun. And I can imagine, Susanna, with over 20 years experience, what you've seen and the effects with helping others and teaching others and seeing them create these positive, beautiful changes. I can only imagine what you've seen over the years.
Yes, it's quite amazing when I think back, because I have done so many consultations in homes, helping people to solve their problems and to make them feel more happy at home and to more love their home. Yeah, of course, there are several or different issues for all people, but in general, everybody loves their home even more after I have helped them.
I love it. I love it. It is just so fun. And please tell everyone where they can get a copy of your book and learn more about you.
Then you can get a copy on Amazon. And I think that's a very good Christmas present, isn't it?
Yes, it is. That's what I'm doing for many friends, is giving them a copy of your amazing book for Christmas. Yeah, and just overall, and they're going to be birthday gifts, because the Feng Shui, it can really make a difference in our lives and the lives around us. And it's actually so interesting to read about and fascinating as well.
It is. And in this book, we have written about the basics. So it's a book for new beginners. It's easy to read, I would say. I mean, it's quite thin, beautiful pictures, and it's easy to apply. You can read and then you can apply the knowledge directly into your home. Yeah, and I would say this is also, we talk about the Scandinavian style of Feng Shui and the Nordic style of Feng Shui, which is a lot focus on the home and the interior design. If we go to, for instance, Asia, China, and talk about Feng Shui, they wouldn't put so much focus on the interior design. So I'm not sure about how your approach over there where you are, Paula. How would you say?
I believe more and more people here are getting interested in Feng Shui, that it is more people are becoming more open to it. At least that's what it seems with my chatting with people. And I think it's something many people would be fascinated and happy to learn about and be open to. Because there is a shift, in people being more, like my being a Reiki practitioner and teacher, more people interested in that, more people interested in energy and doing alternative ways of making effects in their life. And I think Feng Shui is one of those.
Yes. And even if you are a bit reluctant to the energy work, you could still use Feng Shui because it creates a beautiful home and lovely interiors.
Yes.
So that's the key to how you can rearrange your home to look more pretty.
Yes, I love
And
it.
that's something.
Susanna, we have about 2 minutes left, honey. What last words do you want to share with everyone?
I would say, please read the book because I don't think you would regret it, because it is a good toolbox for your interior.
Yes. Oh, I could just go on all day with this. It's so fascinating and so wonderful. And your wisdom and your expertise is so appreciated, Susanna. I am just so excited to share your book and information. Again, everyone, it is the Feng Shui Flow. Check it out. You're going to love it. And maybe we'll do another chat in a couple months, Susanna, and share a bit more about this, because it's really a fascinating aspect and something we can bring into our lives. I love it. Everybody out there, thank you so much for joining us today. Big hugs and happy holidays to everyone. Susanna, big hugs to Sweden. Happy holidays. So grateful to have you on the show.
Thank you.
Bye, everyone.